Don't miss the newest innovation for tabletop gaming mats.
Pocket bits.
What's up, hobby maniacs? Rob Baer with you again today, taking a look at some pretty fresh new line of game mats from Gamemat.eu. These are super efficient because they're double-sided. Yep, that's right. The latest thing from Gamemat is their new double-sided G-mat. This one here is the Highlands in War and the Forgotten Realms, both mats which we've reviewed here on the channel, and of course they go great with the Highlands terrain set, the pre-painted terrain set by them as well. There's one of each of the terrain pieces that come with it, but there's I think like 16 in that set, pre-painted, amazing quality stuff. I love that. I love Badlands, which goes good with the futuristic kind of other mat that they have here. Now remember, these are all pretty standard as far as their weights. They're all about 3.5 kilograms. I don't know the conversion on pounds, never had to deal with weights before, sorry. Usually I'm just measuring things. If you're here in America, I'm sure you can do the conversion on that one. They're waterproof, anti-glare. I definitely have some lights on in here. You can't see any glare off it to the naked eye or through the viewfinder here. They are supposedly 2 mil thick, but you can see here that it's the same thickness of the propylene, but there's a print on each side. So I don't know how they got it to stick. Might be some sort of wizardry perhaps, but either way, it's still about the same thickness, still about 2 mils right there. So, they're gonna leave them out overnight. They're gonna need to lay flat, but once they do, they'll lay true, for the rest of their life here. I've had these ones laying out overnight here, and they're all good to go by now. But I was, they had a slight curl to the end, no big deal right there. Haven't had any issues with them up to this point in their life. Now the pricing on this stuff is kind of interesting. So it's $102 plus shipping to the US. And remember, even though they're in Europe, it comes quicker than sometimes, stuff I get from California. It's crazy. It shows up in a week and I'm like, wait, what did I order again? I'm always like, holy crap, I can't believe it's here so fast. Now they're $102. The normal game mats are $62. So you still get a good value. It's not $124. So, you can save a little bit more hobby dollars to spend on other things. Like I said, this is a great combo mat here. Plus, it takes up half the space. So I think it's a great idea. I think we're going to see a lot of folks out there innovating and kind of copying what Gamemat's doing, because let me tell you what, I have a huge stack of these mats underneath this table, and if I could have half of that stack of mats, I would definitely appreciate that myself. So I know there's a lot of folks out there that instead of having 2 mats, perhaps they play a lot of fantasy or skirmish type war games. This would be the mat for you, and then you only have 1 mat. So I think it's a great innovative idea. Let's take a look at the next mat in their double-sided lineup. And 2 other cool features of the G-Mats, of course, is that it comes with this battle bag here with zipper, so you can move the stuff around after you get your shipment. Of course, you're gonna throw the box away. Duh, that's just silly. Why would you keep the box? But also, if you roll it up and you leave the lip right here, or the end, then you can tell if you have other mats which mat this is, and if it's a double-sided one, well, you'll see it, and you'll be like, oh, okay, right, it's green. I wanna play on this one today. Next mat that Gamemat has come out with for all your sci-fi type games is one of my personal favorite mats, coupled with one of the newest mats from Gamemat, the double-sided Fallout Zone and Imperial Base mat. Of course, Imperial Rebel Mace. Echo Base, everybody knows what we're talking about there. This is a great mat. Recently reviewed it. I love it. Can be used for a number of things. Aircraft carriers, interior hangars, starship hangars, whatever you want, city, hab blocks, all sorts of different things right there. And it's a really cool, striking blue color. Now this is the same type of deal. There's 2 prints on the back of that neoprene mat right there. And then of course, I think this is my all-time favorite mat. I don't know, I love Fallout Zone, and that's what's right here, but I also am really partial to Quarantine as well. People always ask me, hey, I want to buy one of those mats you're always talking about. Which one should I get? And I'm like, man, it's always a draw for me. Do you like, City Fight, or do you like Blasted Landscape? And I think I'd have to go with, for most of my games, probably the Blasted Landscape of the Fallout Zone. So 2 Cool designs, one of my personal favorites here, combined to make this new mat that's coming out. Now, something else I was thinking about too. I was like, man, the price is like so good on this. It's like $102. It's basically like buy one mat, get one half off, or a little bit more than half off, because I guess they're like 62. So it's like slightly more than half off, but it's almost like buy one, get one half off, save half the space. You know, don't make your significant other mad with, you know, huge stacks of these mats laying around for, you know, them to see. But speaking of something we should talk about is the new medieval town terrain mats, or Gmats, from Gamemat.eu. Now this is kind of like the inside the castle walls type deal, or, you know, just like the cobblestone kind of medieval town, you know, something you would expect to walk across if you were at a Ren fair and you just walked into a city. And what's cool about this is it'll go great with the new medieval terrain that Gamemat.eu is coming out with too, which I haven't got my hands on yet, but I'm definitely super hype. If it's just half as good as all their other pre-painted terrain, this stuff's gonna be dope. Now, these mat sizes here, you can tell, I mean, super well detailed, right down to like the cobblestone, the larger chunks of rock, and of course, you know, exactly what you would expect to see at like a time period, you know, and it's all like not perfect square. I mean, they spare no expense when it comes to these graphics here. And then of course you got some like just little dirt and stuff over here, some random other areas up there. So it's looking fresh. Now there's 4 different sizes. There's a 4x4, there's a 4x6, and there's also a 6x3. I don't know what the 6x3 is, or what that one's for. So you got, this is your 4x4, and you can tell this is a cut of the existing, which you can see right there. Like this is the existing 4x6 mat, but it's cut. It's just like kind of cropped, but it's shaded a little bit different, which is kind of nice. Like they didn't just like cut it and be like whatever. No, this is done up a little bit different. There's a little bit more pop, or a little bit more, you know, contrast between these areas than there is on this one right here. Whereas this mat is nice and smooth and non-contrasty all the way down, except for when you get over here in this area. Well, this one is pretty much the opposite. So I kind of appreciate that they went the extra mile there and kind of knocked it out. And then underneath that is your 6x3, which again, I'm not exactly sure what a 6x3 is meant to play with. But, and we got the other Wasteland one underneath there that was recently new. That's what I actually keep on this table all the time. People always come in and they're like, hey, what's that mat? I was like, yo, you haven't heard of Gamemat? Check them out, dog. They're for real. So I can't wait to get my hands on the set of terrain that's going to go with this, but for now we just have to be satisfied with taking a look at the mats themselves. Now, most of this stuff is in stock right now over on Gamemat.eu. I just checked. The 4x6 mats are $62. Like I said, they're roughly, you know, not quite half off the price of the double-sided mat, but don't let that slow you down. There's lots of other reasons to pick up the new double-sided Gmats than, you know, picking up 2 of the 62, except for the fact that they might not have them, I suppose, you know, in the style that you're looking for there. But that kind of just, you know, goes without saying. So check them out, Gamemat.eu. Great variety of both terrain and game mats themselves to put on top of your tabletop.